WNBA star Caitlin Clark is breaking her silence after she was punched in the throat during a game by Phoenix Mercury player Alyssa Thomas.
I know what you guys are going to ask, and I did think it was a flagrant foul. And our refing just needs to be better. I really think that it was up for debate. Obviously, it wasn't called in real time. You go back and watch the clip. I think it's pretty straightforward. Like I said, it frustrates me that it takes away so much from the product that's being put on the floor.
But now the league is going after Clark for the incident. The Mercury posted this now deleted picture that seems to make fun of the assault, while the player who attacked Clark is calling her out.
It's no surprise. You can see what's being said on social media, and yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, but as usual, she remains silent, and that's unfortunate when, you know, our lives are being threatened.
Let's rewind to June 24th. Fever versus Mercury. Second quarter, Clark near the groin, and a fist making contact with Clark's throat. The league itself would later call it, quote, recklessly making contact with her fist to the throat area of Caitlin Clark, a non-basketball act. Those are the WNBA's own words.
Including and being inclusive of all different walks of life. That is what our league has always been about.
It's also why your league has always been a huge embarrassing failure. It's also why your league has always been rejected by most of America.
I want to address, what's going on with AT. It's absolutely unacceptable. There's been so much more toxicity, racism, homophobia. It is absolutely unacceptable. Most of this coming from the online community. Most of this, in my heart of hearts, I believe, not coming from WNBA fans. I believe that this is people who are using our league, using our players to further divisive agendas. And if you are one of these people that are online doing this, do not call yourself a WNBA fan. Our league is about inclusiveness. Our league is about competition. Our league is about elevating women, elevating marginalized communities, including and being inclusive of all different walks of life. That is what our league has always been about.
WNBA star Alyssa Thomas blasting Commissioner Kathy Engelbert after Alyssa says she received death threats over this incident with Caitlin Clark.
There's a difference between trolling and there's a difference between hatred, and the hatred that we're experiencing over a play that honestly was a complete accident.
The play happened at last Wednesday night's game between the Phoenix Mercury and the Indiana Fever. Clark at the bottom of a scramble for the ball. At one point, Thomas appears to push into Clark's neck.
Fans on both sides went to war, and through all of it, one voice was missing, Caitlin Clark's, until Friday. And what she said changed the entire conversation. Clark opened with zero hesitation. Quote, I did think it was a flagrant foul. Our reffing just needs to be better. She said it wasn't even up for debate. Watch the clip, she said. It's pretty straightforward.
I thought I would just probably start. I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions, and obviously I haven't been available for like a week or so. So, first of all, I know what you guys are going to ask, and I did think it was a flagrant foul. And our reffing just needs to be better. And, it's tough. Obviously, the refs are in a really difficult spot. It's one of the hardest jobs in the world, in my opinion, is to make calls. All you do is get yelled at the whole time by everybody. You're never winning. So I think for us, as the league's just got to do better protecting our players in that regard. I don't really think that it was up for debate. Obviously, it wasn't called in real time. You go back and watch the clip. I think it's pretty straightforward.
Then she went one level higher. Quote, the league's just got to do better protecting our players.
It's kind of been a discussion for like 3 years now, and I think we really need to do a better job protecting the people in this league. And, obviously I've been involved in a few of those plays, but there's been plenty of others across the league that, haven't got called, go back and post game or whatever it is, teams submit clips, nothing really changes. So I think overall the league just has to do better, and we have to invest in those areas. The technology can get better. We can treat the referees a little bit better, pay them like they're full-time employees. I think things like that. And, I think a lot has obviously come after that. And as I've stood up here and said before, like the harassment, the hate, none of that is okay. That goes for the opposing team we play. That goes for my teammates. That goes for my coaches. There should never be a question of character. Like I've always stood up here and said that, and that's truly what I believe. That's how I was raised. So, none of that is okay. And I don't want anybody to ever experience that. And, I think it can be really frustrating to me at times. And I think it's difficult. I think a lot of people sometimes think I'm a robot. I'm not a robot. I have emotions, I have feelings, and it can be really difficult to go through a lot of that. And, I'm 24 years old trying to navigate a lot. And I think at times I've been in this world for 4 years now, and you would never change any of it. But there are times that it is hard, and there are times that, it probably affects me a little bit more than I do put on.
And here's the irony that makes this whole story almost unbelievable. The very same day Clark stood up there and called out the league, the WNBA handed her the Eastern Conference Player of the Month award. Roughly 22 points a game, over 8 assists, shooting better than 45% from the field. They celebrated her with one hand while she exposed them with the other. So where does that leave everything? Clark is officially out for Sunday's game against the defending champion Aces, still managing that back injury. She says she's feeling better and is targeting a return in next week's back-to-back. But make no mistake, the pressure she just put on this league is not going away. The referees missed a fist to the throat in real time. The league needed a full day and a viral firestorm to act. And the player everything is built around just said, publicly, that the WNBA is not protecting its people. Meanwhile, frustrated fans have been loud online, some even talking about staying home from games until the officiating changes. Whether that talk turns into empty seats or not, the message from the fan base is impossible to miss. Rival protected her teammates and still delivered the most direct challenge to WNBA leadership we've heard from any star all season. That's the part of the league should be losing sleep over. The biggest takeaway is simple. Caitlin Clark just told the WNBA, on the record, that it has to do better, not the fans, not the media, the league itself. And when your most valuable player says that while sitting out injured from a hit the refs never called, something has to change. So here's the question. Did the WNBA get the message? Or is it going to take another ugly moment before they finally act? What do you think? Drop it in the comments. Let's start with what Reese actually said, because the wording matters. On Thursday, right after the WNBA revealed its 10 All-Star starters, Reese stepped up for her teammates. Quote, "I expect to be disrespected." She said the snub of Ryan Howard and Alyssa Gray was a slap in the face. And since they weren't going to say anything, she would.
A bunch of stars here, but noticeably no Atlanta girls on here, right? Naturally, Angel Reese wasn't gonna go quiet, right? She called it a slap in the face to not include anybody from the Dream as starters. So let me ask you this, Alexa, having nobody from the Dream included as an all-star starter, is this something or nothing?
I think it's fair to say it's something, and yes, you have maybe 3 players that were really in mind for this conversation, and Angel Reese, Ryan Howard, and Alyssa Gray. I think Ryan Howard is the one who probably had the best argument to be in the starter conversation.
Give her credit. She was standing up for her locker room. The Dream are tied at the top of the Eastern Conference. Howard and Gray are both top 15 scorers. Reese leads the entire league in rebounding, and not one of them made the starting 10.
We're gonna have some fun, let's get it! Burn! What do Angel Reese and a lost traveler in the woods have in common? Are both uncoordinated! Burn! 21 games this year, she's already been blocked 50 times. And there's another one! Burn! Sometimes a picture is worth 1,000 words. The Mona Lisa got recreated. Beautiful! Bang! Look at that. Who got her own rebound?
Anyone know what butter pecan means?
It's provocative. It gets the people going. Butter pecan! Bang! For a bath, because she's dirty. Burn! How about a me throw numero uno? Bang! Me throw numero dos. No bueno! Burn! One of the classic combo moves, a hook and hope, into a me bound. Followed up with a chuck and duck. Bang! Why is she always crashing to the floor, man? Get her a parachute and some landing gear! Bang!
Trip to the Line is sponsored by your local brick supplier.
Bang! So, is it a conspiracy? Here's where the numbers start talking. Reese finished 7th among front court players in the combined voting. Howard was hurt by being listed as a guard in the deepest guard class in years, stuck behind Paige Buchers, Olivia Miles, Caitlin Clark, and Kelsey Mitchell. That's not a rigged system. That's a traffic jam.
Having a little bit of a dip right now. They've lost 5 straight games. Maybe that had something to do with some of the less enthusiasm for the Dream players, but I do expect we're going to be getting the reserves named later today on Tuesday evening. I do expect that we'll have at least 2, I hope, probably even those 3 players that we talked about from the Dream that will be named, will be named All-Stars even if they're not among the starting core.
And here's the part that stings. Reese herself said she wishes Dream fans would have galvanized around their players more. Read that again. She's pointing at her own fan base for not showing up at the ballot box. But if the player with the biggest social media platform in that locker room can't turn followers into votes, whose job was that?
Got another day that ends in a Y, which also means that Angel Reese is mad about something. Angel Reese is pissed off at the Atlanta Dream fan base. You just got to Atlanta. You just got to Atlanta. And now you're pissing in the face of your fans. Why? Because no Atlanta Dream players are actually starters on the All-Star team. Now keep in mind, 2 or 3 of them will probably make the team, but they're not starters. So Angel Reese is pissed off, right?
Meanwhile, in Indianapolis, the votes poured in. The Fever put 3 players in the starting lineup. Aaliyah Boston finished number 1 among all front court players in fan voting, not top 5. First, Clark was second among guards with over 1 million fan votes, and Kelsey Mitchell third among guards with the fans. Think about Mitchell's story for a second. Years of grinding in Indiana with barely any national attention. No playoff appearances early in her career. Now she's starting in the All-Star game next to Clark in Boston. That's what happens when a fan base actually shows up. An Instagram follower is not a voter. A like is not a ballot. Indiana just proved it, and Atlanta just learned it the hard way.
Before we jump into this, Angel Reese drowning her fans, or the Dream fans, of course. Look, let's be real. Angel Reese fans and actual basketball team fans are 2 different things. Also, where the hell's all these supposed Angel Reese fans at? Because you wasn't exactly nipping at the heels of 1st, 2nd, or 3rd place in this All-Star vote based on fan voting. You were not. In fact, you were beat by like 350,000 votes. All right? Nearly 400,000 votes.
But here's where this story takes a genuinely strange turn, because everything I just told you is about the fans. Once you get to the players' own ballots, the numbers stop making sense. Clark finished second among guards with the fans, third with the media. 2 separate groups, same conclusion. Then the player vote came in, and Clark dropped to 11th. At a position she's been dominating.
And the WNBA is a complete clown show. This also maybe factors into Caitlin Clark being 11th ranked amongst guards for players. But I saw this and was like, can this league not get anything right? Anything right. Fewer than half of WNBA players turned in ballots for this year's All-Star starters, according to Alexa Philippou. Fans accounted for 50% of the final vote, while player and media each made up 25%. Less than half of your players got back.
The players who guard her every single night, who build entire defensive game plans around stopping her, ranked her outside their top 10. And she wasn't alone. Kelsey Plum, averaging almost 24 points a game, ranked 12th by the players. Last year, the players had Clark 9th. This isn't a one-off, it's a pattern. And it gets worse. Reports came out that the player vote itself was a mess. Less than half the league even submitted a ballot. It's on the teams to hand them out. And by all accounts, some locker rooms barely participated.
I saw something about like they didn't even get ballots or something like that. I don't know how it works. How is that freaking possible? You can't bring in, like literally bring everybody into a conference room, hand out a ballot, let them fill it out, and everybody hand it back in all at the same time? You can't do that? Is that hard? More than half the league didn't even vote? God, This league can't get anything right.
So when you hear that the players ranked Clark 11th, understand what that really means. A fraction of the league decided for everyone else. Meanwhile, Paige Buchers surged past everyone late to finish first in fan voting, just ahead of Clark, after trailing well behind her in the totals released in late June.
WNBA voting scandal. It's a damn voting scandal going on. The information is out there. It seems to be a 400K voting swing in favor of Paige Buchers that happened within a span of 3 days. A 3-day 400K voting swing for Paige Buchers? I think not. There is a scandal. It is rigged what's going on with this voting. That UConn Mafia is strong. They done pulled some strings and rigged the damn voting. The players done voted Caitlin Clark as the 11th best guard in the whole league.
Fans immediately started asking questions about how that late surge happened. Nobody has proven anything improper, and Buchers is having a great season. But the timing lit the internet on fire. So let's connect all of this because these two stories are actually one story. In Atlanta, a star's on a podium saying the voting disrespected her team, while the numbers show her own fans stayed home. In Indiana, a fan base showed up so hard they made franchise history with 3 starters. And across the entire league, the one group whose vote should matter most, the players, produced a result so warped that half of them didn't even participate. And the ones who did ranked the most game planned against guard in basketball 11th. Here's my honest take. Reese wasn't wrong to defend Howard and Gray. They have real cases. But the disrespect she's looking for isn't in some league office conspiracy. It's in the mirror of her own fan base. And even more so, in a broken player ballot that keeps punishing the same names year after year. Clark gets face guarded from baseline to baseline. Teams double her the second she crosses half court. You don't do that to the 11th best guard in the league. The game plans tell the truth. The ballots refuse to. At the end of the day, fans reward players who show up and produce. And Indiana just proved it with 3 starters for the first time ever. But the player vote is broken and everybody can see it. So here's the question. Was Angel Reese right to call out the voting? Or did she aim at the wrong target? And what's really going on with that player ballot? What do you think? Drop it in the comments.